It's not my favorite topic, but it keeps coming up. The Moors, of course, occupied Spain for 700 years, the Muslims, and they want to get rid of them all and make it into a Catholic nation. And the Moors brought their oud, their lute, a big Arabic lute. I have one at home, of course, but they want to get rid of that, so they invented the guitar to be their own thing.
Nice.
But 1492 is what they say, which is what I heard from a lecture from Paco Peña. And being a gypsy, you should know.
Right.
Oh, I guess the show's on already, is it? Yeah, okay. Well, I guess I better do the Tom's Guitar Show theme, huh?
Right on.
Like, if I could play this intro, for an hour, I wouldn't have to do anything else, would I? Okay, everybody. So, hello, welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. I'm Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with a guitar. And back in the old days, we had a call-in show, like a landline type of call-in show, and people call up and ask me questions like they say, hey, man, what's your show about? And I say, it's about an hour. About guitar players, guitar playing, all things guitaristic. So here's the thing. We discuss these topics like, guitars and playing guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you, related topics, guitarrón, guitarra, sitar, chitoles, lutes, vihuelas, banjos, balalaikas, bazookas, bajos, sextos, bandurrias, and bandolins, and mandolins, and mandoras, and mandocellos, trombones and trombomarinas, cornholts, cornetos, harmoniums, harpsichords, and harmonicas, pipe organs, and piccolos. I mean, trumpets. I don't know. Anything you can make music on. I don't care. Timpani and timbales. Had a guy, I think he was probably Puerto Rican. Maybe he's Cuban. He came up to. I used to work at a music store. He came up and say, "How do you say timbales in English?" And I say, "Timbales." Anyway, he's looking for a new head for his timbale. Anyway, it's like I guess the Cubans they took the French kettle drum, which I guess is like a timpani or whatever, and they cut off the bottom part of the copper, so it was like they say timbales. So anyway, I guess if it's if it sounds good, it is good, right? That's Duke Ellington said that, and he would know. So okay, we talk about all the music stuff, politics, world events, your own personality problems, but we're going to try to keep this clean. It's a family program. Okay, all right. So I got my sidekick. I keep telling him he's no Bob, but he's DJ Commando. He's Bob could never do that. I mean, you can't do Bob, man, but you know, you can do.
And I don't think Bob could do me either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think that'll work.
There's no way. It's just, you know.
Not at all.
That's why they say, you do you.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. So.
Yeah. For some reason, that reminds me of Bob Dylan lyrics. And time will tell just who fell and who's been left behind when you go your way, I go mine. Or that's not appropriate. Anyway, all right. So yeah, this is my Cordoba electric flamenco guitar. It's from Spain. Cordoba is a town in Spain, but the Cordoba Guitar Company is in Santa Monica, California, I believe. And their cheap guitars are made in China, and they're pretty good. I mean, you know, for cheap guitars. I have one actually. It's been around. It keeps coming back to me. It's student guitar. It's pretty nice for, you know, cheap guitar. The nicer ones are made in Spain, like this one, and two other ones that I have that are, you know, also Spanish, but they're a little different. And their very best are made in Oxnard, California, and they're quite expensive. Handmade guitars. They're actually making replicas of famous classical guitars of the 20th century, made by the Spanish masters and the German Hermann Hauser. And I got to play a Hermann Hauser copy. Pretty good guitar, but they're like $5,000, which is actually, for a good instrument, $5,000 isn't too bad.
No, not at all. I don't think so either.
Yeah, you try to buy a cello.
Right.
My brother is a recording engineer. He was, back when I bought my house, long time ago, 1991.
Wow.
Yeah. But at about the same time, my brother was, he had some friend who was, I think, the Chicago Symphony, or not even the first chair or anything like that, cellist. And she was looking to buy a cello, trying to decide. And the cello actually cost the same as my house. And this was considered a fairly cheap one at the time. So that's what cellos cost. So,
wow.
Get a real good guitar for $5,000. I mean, hey, man. Anyway. But anyway, yeah, okay. I digress. Okay, this one is, these are actually less than $2,000. But anyway, but it's a pretty good guitar. I've had it on the show before, but
sounds good. I like how it sounds.
yeah, it sounds real good. I have another one. It's exactly the same guitar, but the wood in the sides and back is different. It's actually a bit more expensive because it has this ebony from some island off of Africa someplace. I forget where it's from. It's a kind of ebony, but it's like white and black stripes. It's natural. The wood like has this big stripes, so part of it's like as light as this maple is.
Oh wow!
And the rest of it is as black as or almost as black as ebony, like a real dark rosewood, like real dark brown. It's kind of swirly, you know, and it's really cool. You can't get rosewood. Rosewood, like, yeah, okay, Brazilian rosewood, which is the best, you can't get anymore. You can get Indian rosewood, but even that is now running into shorter supply. So we're finding all these other really cool woods to build guitars on. This is maple, and this is easy. There's a lot of maple. I mean,
right.
I mean, Canada's full of maple. Their flag is a maple leaf on it.
Right, basically.
Yeah, I mean, they've got maples, you know. So I mean, it's much more plentiful, and so this is not like rare exotic wood. It's a little bit brighter. I didn't like this guitar so much, but the last time I restrung it, I thought it was a mistake getting it because I got two of them. I had an opportunity to get them, really good deal, reduced price, and 3 years to pay them off. So I got two of them. I figured, okay, I'll never need another, you know. And I got this one, which is a little bit brighter, lighter colored, lighter sounding, and the other one's just a little bit darker sounding and has the darker sides and back. And I thought, I don't like this guitar that much. But then the last time I restrung it, it just sounds great, I think.
I like the shininess of that too. It's a nice little glow to it. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Actually, I had to kind of order this one special because the one they didn't stock it. They had the kind that had a kind of a stain, so it was a little bit darker, kind of a honey colored. I said, no, I want this, you know. I want it to be white. You know, they have it's the blanco and negra is a black and white. That's what they flamencos, and so of course the black ones have dark brown sides and back, and the you know, and the white ones aren't exactly white. It's just you know, maple, but or cypress. Well, this was maple though, which is different. I like cypress, but cypress is like Spanish cypress is traditional, but this is actually maple. which is more like a German thing. So actually, this is the same wood they make violins out of, spruce and maple.
Yeah.
But there's two kinds of, well, there's more than two kinds of flamencos, but they have the dark and the light, and that's just refers to the sides and back. It's in Spanish, of course, but anyway. Hey, look. Mr. Scopinci is here now, see? Well, it takes a... See, what are we like? My crew always shows up about, maybe Don will be here, who knows? It's 9 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure Donald's probably feeling better, too. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, she's got her tonsils out of there.
Right.
Yeah.
That made me want to get up and dance a little bit too. Like I had to get the Spanish movement. Yeah.
I don't know if I know how to dance like that, but it's actually that's not really flamenco though, because that's like more like South American. But I keep like thinking there's a whole lot of like interplay back and forth. Mm-hmm. Like people going to from Spain to South America and back.
Right.
And I hear about this a lot. I've heard about it. I've hung around a lot of people whose last names are Spanish. Over the years, not necessarily by choice. It just sort of happens that way. I mean, I don't like seek people out, but if you like guitars,
right,
stuff, and people. They'll hire me to play their party and stuff, and I got no.
What's today's date?
The what?
What's today's date?
Uh,
They had to change the graphic.
The 20th, I'm thinking.
It's the 20th.
It's the 20th.
My $10 phone will tell me. It's, you know, we're right. It's the 20th, and this
Yep.
is 2018. Well, if I stand in front of the number and just have the 018 there, people will know that's the right month of the year.
That's like perfect.
Yeah. It's right. It's
There you
right.
go.
It's right.
Did I leave the year up there?
Yeah, it's 2018. It's okay.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Everything under control?
Today's the 20th. Huh?
He's just trying to get it right a little bit.
What year is this? I don't know.
I mean, there's been times that I've like wrote checks and different stuff like that, and I've actually put the year before, and I'm sitting up there like, and it could be like April or May, and you're still putting like 2017,
Yeah, yeah. Or
2016, some people- I've seen-
2007. You know, I 2008. Yeah. No, I think I've been all right. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I haven't caught myself doing it. I've done 2018, but I haven't written. You know, I don't think I've written a check yet this year, and I certainly haven't. I signed my papers, but that's a problem for a lot of people. I'm worried about becoming a little senile. It's my thing. You see, this is a. Now I want to warn you. This show is kind of a show for old men. You know, I mean, we get old, and I started. When I started this show, I was relatively young. You know, even Mr. Skopinski was relatively young when he started here. I think he started 2001. We figured that out, right? Because yeah, because on 9/11, which is on Tuesday, we had a show, of course.
Oh yeah.
And then 2001, and he'd been here for a few months. So that's how long he's been here.
Oh wow.
So we're slowly growing old now. Bob, you know, Bob hadn't been retired for very long when he started on the show. And now, of course, he's like, you know,
Right.
he's an old pensioner. And Phil, I mean, Phil grew old. Phil was with me in the early days in the 90s. And he lived out his last year in a nursing home. And yeah, Phil got you going. So I just want you to, you know, be careful.
Okay.
Hey, no, actually, whether or not you're on Tom's Guitar Show or not, you're going to age.
Exactly. It doesn't even matter. I'm just going to. It's going to come. That's it.
It's happening
Right now.
right now.
Right now, we're just getting older.
It's happening to us, and so we're a little ahead of you, but not that much really. So you know, it's an old man show. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think my first incarnation at Tom's Guitar Show, I was 33, and there are pictures of me. I mean, the video somewhere. Nobody has a deck that'll play it anymore. 3/4-inch U-matic tape. But there's some stills from it somewhere on the website or something. And the original Tom's Guitar Show was 1990.
Nice. Just a piece of history for you guys that if you just now tuning in for your first time, then now you know.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a plan. See, in 1990, my plan was I'll do this show, and then I'll contact this, you know, cable TV and maybe public television, and see if I can do it. How to play a guitar show and have it on PBS on Saturday afternoons. I wanted because the Joy of Painting guy was on. You know, if he's like, here's some little mountains up here.
Oh yeah, Bob Ross.
Yeah, Bob Ross. I wanted to be the
Mr.
Bob
Ross.
Ross of the guitar. That'd be my gig, you know.
Right.
And if I go, I mean, I'd never be a millionaire, but I could, you know, I could sell. I could sell humidifiers and things, and the guitar players need and stuff, and maybe, and then I could be a very modest minor celebrity, not the kind who needs to hire a security detail, but somebody that, you know, people might recognize, maybe, you know.
Right.
And then I could have, then I'd have a long career doing that. And I think, well, in 2 years, I'll have that. See, that would be so by 1992, 93 at the latest, I'd have my deal.
There you go.
I'm still waiting.
Still waiting.
So anyway, okay, but now it's become a habit. So anyway, all right. So
Cool.
I have a bunch of students. That's true. I gotta remember that. I got one really good kind of go-getter student at Cornell College. I'll be seeing him tomorrow, I hope. He's Chinese. He's going to go back to China, I suppose. He wants to be a composer, so he's getting his musical education. And I'm his guitar teacher. Of course, he's taking classes and, you know, in theory. And and stuff and history and all that. And I'm just a guitar teacher there, but he wants to be in the jazz band next year. And tomorrow we're going to start the chord theory thing. And I've got about half a dozen students right now who are, like delving into chord theory. Mm-hmm. So the thing, I really like chords. I mean, like a major 7. That's very sweet, major 7 chords. Major 9. But more like a minor 9, that wasn't a minor. I'm sorry. I'm getting there we go. Minor 9 as opposed to minor 7. But what do you do? You're harmonizing. These chords are very similar, but they feel different. And then this one, you have a 7 flat 9, flat 5 sharp 9. How about flat 9 sharp 5, flat 5, flat 9. But see, if you play jazz, you're going to have all these chords with equations in them. And people, when they start working on it, they think, oh no, that's too much, because you get this big page of all these different equations. You start with a root, major, minor. You guys, you classical composer types, you had the counterpoint, all that stuff. You didn't really think of chord theory like jazz cats, right?
Both.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the emphasis when I was going to school was on the contrapuntal backgrounds that created these chords, but we had to know the chords too. It depends on what level you're harming. You usually start out with chords, and maybe take counterpoint your sophomore year.
Yeah, counterpoint yourself.
Backwards.
I took a little counterpoint once, but I've done a lot of chords because I'm low rent and I've played in pit orchestras, and jazz bands and stuff.
No, as a matter of fact, I ended up thinking that was kind of a deficiency that I subsequently worked on and intend to work on intensely in the near future. So you're right on target.
I see.
So Tom, say if somebody wanted to just flat out today wanted to start learning how to play the guitar, would you be one of those teachers, or would you just?
Oh yeah,
say,
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, absolute beginners.
Yeah.
And I've been doing. I actually want to teach. A lot of guitar players don't want to teach, and they're kind of compelled to. I went to a thing. There's a nonprofit little organization, and a lot of what they do is they do classical music, guitar and flute oriented stuff in nursing homes and stuff like that. You'll make me on too now. So.
Oh, I know. I'm trying not to.
I know, but always with a lot of yawning on the show. It's good for you.
Right.
But he was saying that this guy's on a panel. He's sitting up there, and we're on the audience. And he said, the one thing you're forced to have to teach. It's a bad thing to do, and I actually want to teach. And so one thing that was if you get somebody who knows how to do some stuff on a guitar, play a certain sort of thing, they get tabs on the internet and they watch YouTube videos, people showing them how to play certain songs, like rock, classic rock or something like that.
Right.
And they know certain things, and then they want to go to the next step, and then I get in there and try to give them a comprehensive education, how to read music, what the notes are, what they're called, how to arrange them, this chord theory thing. And then they have a really hard time with that. And also how to hold the guitar differently. Because if you have the guitar down like this, and you have your thumb around it like that, you can do stuff, but you can't do anything very big. If I'm the reason I hold my guitar way up here like this is that I have this extension in my hand. See, my hand will just reach, I can do those big, I should be able to do it. Sorry, this isn't a Bach prelude. So here I gotta push 3 strings down with that finger, and so these are big extensions. But that's because I'm holding the guitar. I have done some finger yoga. But so people will say, well, I like holding my guitar like this because it's your favorite band. They hold it down like this.
Right.
And do a little dance with it. And I don't want to read music and stuff because that's not my thing, And other musicians, of course, know how to do these things.
Right.
You know? And guitar players don't have to. You can do a lot of stuff on a guitar without knowing much. So for me, the easiest people to work with are people who never played anything before. Or somebody who maybe, like, so I've had a couple students who, like, you know, grew up playing the piano and the cello, you know, and then they want to play guitar when they're a little older. Mm-hmm. So they know how to do the fingering thing on a cello, which is like the fingering thing on a guitar, only you just, like, move your elbow down. And they know how to play, like, things that have a lot of notes in them, like chord stuff, like on a piano, to pick the guitar right up, you know. It's just the people who played in a rock band or punk band through high school and stuff, you know. You have to take them out and reprogram them. Take them one of those.
Basically.
Yeah, take them out to one of those camps, you know, and make them do calisthenics all the time, and
Right.
You know, feed them a bowl of brown rice every now and then, and drill them, and
Right.
I wouldn't do that.
Right. And the thing about it is, even though, like I said, and I'm gonna put my age out there too because I don't care. I love how old I am. I'm going to turn 50, and there's some things like there's a couple of instruments that I would love to learn how to play, even if I don't really go far with it, but just to know how to just cut like general chords, that type of stuff. Is one is a guitar and one's piano.
Yeah.
And those are two of like my, favorite instruments.
Yeah.
I love those.
The
Because
thing
they
with
make some very beautiful music.
Well, yeah. The thing about both of those is you don't need anybody else. You can sit in a room all by yourself, or you can walk up on a stage all by yourself, and you don't need anybody else. If you play the saxophone, you probably want to get a piano or a guitar player to help you out,
Right.
with all the chord stuff, all the
Right.
harmonies and stuff, and bass lines. And I see it. I kid people about pianos because I had to lift them up. I had a job. I was a 90-pound weakling. I had to lift pianos. They're heavy, very heavy. And put them on a dolly and those split level houses. With the steps that go up in the front and the ones that go down. Those are really hard. There's a little landing like that, and you have the finished basement and then the upstairs thing. And those are really hard to put pianos in. See, you got to One time we had to stand one on its end.
Ooh.
And pivot it around, and then lay it down gently on some planks and roll it up the steep staircase. I didn't like that.
Yeah, because I've seen that. You see that commercial where they're actually picking the piano up outside of an apartment building, and then all of a sudden it goes.
Yeah, well, that's an old
sad.
one. That's the sort of thing where they in the apartments, they put a crane on the roof of in New York. I mean, like this is like 100 years ago, and they would crank it up there, and sometimes they did fall. So
yeah. That's sad.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Yeah.
And they're loud too. And I'm always been a guitar player. But yeah, I mean, I have other instruments. I play mandolin, and I really like mandolin. It's got its place, and I've been listening to a bunch of mandolin music yesterday, and last night I had a student who couldn't make it to his lesson, but I was preparing to blow his mind. But you kind of need somebody with you. Because it just plays the one thing. It's like a violin. It's the you can strum chords on it, but it's bass, string bass, and bass guitar are things I was out at West Music checking things out. They had a Guild hollow body bass guitar there, which was really nice. I was playing it, thinking I could probably get this. So I wanted to compare it with this Fender that they had, Fender Precision. And now they're doing this. They roast the wood now. They kind of bake it so darker. It's got changes the cell structure, makes it more resonant. Mm-hmm. So I took that one off the wall and plugged it in. I thought, wow, this bass is great. I didn't want to play the Guild anymore, even though it was nice. Mm-hmm. You see, but the Guild's like $600 or $800. The Fender, $2,000.
Yeah.
So I played it and thought, wow, I could love this. Like a. I thought, and then I put it back, and then I left. But sure was fun for a while. I wanted to try some of their stuff out. I have a few bass guitars already, and a string bass, so I'm okay. I got some nice basses. But, that Fender was... the Fender Precision only has one pickup, and it's, But it was a little bit lighter. I think when they bake the wood, it's a little lighter. There's no moisture left in it. It's all very dry. And then they had the ashtray cover, the metal thing over the pickup here and down here. And that's retro. That's what they used to do back in the 50s. And it just felt so good, you know. I thought, oh, yeah. But nobody, I mean, I know how to play a bass, but nobody ever hires me. They always hire me to play guitar. So,
Right.
I think I probably told that story. Guy, the Groove Ship, the band called Groove, it's a funk band. They offered me a gig, and I practiced with them for a while with the guitar. But my problem was that I would have had to be the guitar player, and the band leader was a bass player. And if I could be a bass player in a funk band, that would be a dream come true.
Oh, I know it.
But you know, anyway.
They're the one that gives the flavor to the funk is the bass guitar.
Well, the bass is where it's all, you know, pivoting on from. That's it. You know, I mean, okay, the drummers, sure, but bum 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 bum, or you go. I don't know. It's like what is the chord? I can't really. I don't know, man. I've forgotten how to play funk guitar. Oh, well. All right. I got the wrong guitar anyway. Yeah, all right. I always go out of tune. I always go sharp. About half an hour after I've been under these TV lights.
Right.
And I'm using a tuner. So ashamed.
How you playing right now kind of reminds me of that Al Di Meola feel.
Sure.
That's what it reminds me of. I like that too. Feels really good.
I like Al Di Meola. There's a guy who practiced a lot. A lot of work. The thing about playing really fast, I like to play fast, but thing about, so, by the way, I will be at Tuscan Moon in beautiful downtown Kelowna, Iowa, this weekend again, and I'll of course, be playing guitar. Maybe this guitar. I don't know. I played this guitar last weekend there. It was fine. But what I've started to do, see, originally I would drink iced tea. I drink lots of iced tea while I was there. Now, one thing is that people have wine and cocktails and things, and people always want to buy you a drink. But if you just drink the iced tea, then it keeps it sort of, because I don't want to drink alcohol and be a guitar player, because for one thing, I have to drive home every time.
Right.
And I'll tell you that having a clean record in life, and I'm not saying that I'm all that virtuous, but the things that I do aren't illegal.
Right.
Like going, I hung around a couple of guitar shops earlier today, and I went, transacted various transactions. Actually, sold some guitars, so I'm going through a thing. But I have guitar acquisition syndrome, really bad. And it's an addiction, I know it, but it's just guitars, and it's not like something that the police will pull you over for and cuff you and stuff you, and
Right.
So having a clean record's nice. So anyway, so I would drink the iced tea, and then I don't know, I got on the Obamacare, and because used to be I paid a lot of money for medical insurance, a whole lot of money for medical, and then the actual out of your pocket just to go visit a doctor was really, really high. So I didn't want to go to the doctor. It was just like I'd give them a lot of money every month, and in case I, had to be hospitalized, break my leg or heart attack, something like that. So then I got on the Obamacare, and it became affordable. You see, I was on the exchange, because I have like 7 jobs, but none of them have benefits.
I agree.
You know how that is. I'm a what they call an adjunct professor, which means I'm a temp.
Ah.
And, so I'm in the same kind of status as. So I got to the doctor, and he gave me a list. So what do I do? I start taking the pills and take off a few pounds and stuff like that. I thought I'm not going to do this caffeine, So I quit doing the iced tea and started drinking water. I think I originally drank water, but then I needed the caffeine to get me going. But now I'm at the point where when I get there and sit down and get my stuff set up, and I sit down ready to play guitar for 3.5 hours, I'm really ready for a siesta. So I have them bring me coffee.
There you go.
And then that sort of got to the point where the young Gina, the busser, teenager, she got really good about filling up my coffee cup. Like I just look over and it'd be full again, so I'd be drinking the coffee. So now I'm drinking, even though Gina, I haven't seen Gina, she's not working that, I haven't seen her for a while. The owner, Warren, he fills up my coffee cup. So now I'm becoming obsessively drinking coffee. The last few months I'm drinking more and more coffee. And, they say like Charlie Parker, there's something about, like he had a heroin thing, and somehow his brain worked under the influence of heroin. He came up with brilliant stuff. He only lived to be like 35 or something like that. But while he was there, he had like brilliant stuff, because it was like almost like everything he was doing, he was playing really fast, but it was like he was in slow motion because the way. But me, I'm jacked on coffee. I'm jacked on a lot of coffee now. It's restaurant coffee. It's not like the stuff at home that I make, where you can eat it with a fork,
Right.
Strong coffee.
Yeah, that's strong.
Yeah.
Very strong.
But because I'm not, so I drink coffee, and then so people like the one finger tremolo, and then left right hand coordination. That's coffee kind of playing.
I was like, you must have had a lot of coffee doing that there.
I've only had 1 cup of coffee today, but on the weekends when I'm gigging, I really get cranking. I also play that Italian mandolin, where you, the pick. I'm trying. I just figure out how to play the Godfather song. Mm-hmm. Like last week, I had been playing it with another guy, a mandolin player, and he did tremolo all the way through. And he's a big coffee drinker too. He's a doc. He's a student of mine, but I haven't seen him for a while. Too busy. Those guys. See what happens over the doctors at the university and other people at the university is they make them do more work, and then other people like quit or retire, and they don't hire new people.
So they just
yeah. So you go in there like 80 hours a week, you know.
Jeez.
And So.
Yeah, I imagine they drink a lot of coffee then.
Yeah,
I can see that happening.
Yeah. So
especially like you say, you're in the doctor's office or wherever you're working at in the doctor, and you just got to keep your mind going and got to keep yourself up if you ain't really got no sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, maybe you didn't get enough sleep. Yeah. So, nah, just a guitar player. It's bad enough as it is.
Right, exactly. But I do understand the addiction what you're talking about as far as with instruments and stuff like that. Yeah. I have addiction to records.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. It's like before I came here, I went to the record store, and I'm just going through and thumbing them. I'm just like, I could get that, I could get that, I get that, get that. And it's just like, but you got to look at that budget. It's like, okay. Do I have enough money to get it? Or should I just wait and say, to pay the light bill first and then go get the record?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you don't have the electricity, you can't listen to the record.
Right. Yeah. Or if you need to eat.
Would
you rather play a record or put some food in your stomach?
That's true. You might be able to go to there's a free lunch program, I think, every day at the.
There you go. And then use that money just buy records.
Right. Yeah.
There you go.
And there's always cheaper food and stuff too. You can just get a deal on a sack of potatoes or something like that,
Right.
I mean, you might feel kind of sickly and. How can you be so fat and yet so malnourished? Well,
right. Well, at least I got my instruments, my guitar, and my turntables, or my records.
Well, the thing is, I know I'm going to confess. I used to smoke, and like when I was living in San Francisco, it got the. I mean, I was doing pretty well for a few years. I had a thing going where I get a room and board if I worked a certain number of hours a week in this kind of weird hotel, boarding house type of hotel. Mm-hmm. And I was taking some guitar lessons. I played my gigs and doing my thing. But somehow everything, I ended up moving out of there and ended up in a hotel. And I was doing okay. But then I had a good job, actually, I was doing music for a play. And we were doing like little thing here and there. And then it closed, suddenly just closed. Boom, which happens in theater. And other things, too, where you have a show, you get your paycheck, you're making more money than ever. And then, boom, it closes and you get nothing.
Right.
There's no unemployment, nothing, just nothing. And that's when I started getting really super poor. I had a job, like part-time job, delivering documents in the financial district of San Francisco, and I was living in this little hotel. And the thing is I could get a pack of cigarettes for 55 cents, or if I went into Chinatown, I'd get them for 50 cents. This is a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And, and I had to have at least a pack of cigarettes every day, or I'd be in trouble, because I have withdrawal symptoms. So if you think about it, you could actually, you don't eat for 4 days, but you have cigarettes.
Right.
You can get, I mean, if that's equivalent of having at least a couple of dollars now, you could go, you could get some ramen, you could get, with a couple of bucks, you can get, several ramens and maybe an onion and some carrots or something like that.
Right.
Maybe you could save up and get some turkey wieners to put in there, or half a dozen eggs or something. You might survive, but you're like, I have a choice between eating anything at all or cigarettes, and I took the cigarettes. And I know people do that with heroin or meth or whatever they're addicted to.
Right.
But somehow junkies always find the money.
Find it, yes they do.
Somehow.
Yes they do.
So I somehow find the money for the guitars and things.
Yeah, I'm like you. I find the money for DJ equipment or vinyl.
Yeah. Well, you got the thing. You got the bug. You just got.
Yeah.
You got like a different. It's a slightly different avenue, but it's the same.
Same principle.
Same thing, yeah. It's the same thing.
Principle.
I know it's the same thing. I right now I'm kind of looking for a thrill. I took a Gibson home earlier this week. Well, I should be playing guitar instead of talking about this, but the diseased mind of a guitar player. So, okay, they have a Gibson Midtown at the pro shop. I don't think I'm violating any rules by saying that they took in a used guitar. It's a smaller hollow body. And it's flat on the top. It's like the ES335 is curved, on the top and the bottom. This is flat, but it's black, got 2 F-holes in the top, and it's a hollow body. I took it home, and I liked it. I I liked it. It was kind of expensive, but for a Gibson hollow body, it was actually pretty affordable. And it was in good shape, a few scratches on the back, buttons or belt buckle or something like that, but pretty good, really good shape. But, I compared it to some guitars I already had, and it didn't do it for me. And I thought, okay, I could get this thing, and I could spend a couple $100 on pickups, like replace the pickups on it and trick it out. But I have another guitar that sounds just great. It's all paid for. And then I have another one. It sounds, I have three or four, if you count, they go down, maybe four of these guitars which are in the same sort of class. Semi-hollow. The Guild Bluesbird is actually chambered, so it looks like a solid body guitar, but it has empty spaces in it, so it gets that resonance of a hollow body. And then I have some straight ahead hollow bodies. So I have one that's about the same size and shape in turquoise blue, the Reverend Manta Ray, which sounds great. Sounds better, I think, than the Gibson does, but it's a little different. Doesn't have the bite. But the Guild Bluesbird has the bite, and it's smaller. It doesn't look as cool, and doesn't say Guild on it. But, it doesn't say Gibson on it. It says Guild, and it's the body and neck are made in Korea, but, it used to be made in New Jersey. But, you say, huh. And then I got another one, Diamond Imperial, and then I got the Godin Montreal, which is made in Canada. Like, yeah, they all actually sound better than this one, and I say, so maybe I should just get the same kind of pickups I have in the Guild and get those installed in that. That'd be like $200 plus. And so I think, no, I took it back. I'm not going to get it. And that made me think about how I'm a little disappointed with my Gibson Les Paul and my Gibson SG. So, and a couple other cheaper guitars that I had. So I took them all over. I took 5 guitars over to the pro shop over there, and I sold them today. 2 hours ago. And here. And I feel okay.
Don't fall out. Don't fall out.
Well, yeah. But so now I'm looking for a new thrill. I actually, before I took those to sell, I borrowed an Ibanez hollow body, really pretty one, and I plugged it in, and I only compared it to the Guild Bluesbird, and the Bluesbird just sounded a whole lot better to me. And it's kind of plain looking guitar, but that's okay. It's just black, shaped like a Les Paul, little white border around it, shiny. Great. And I almost brought all that stuff here. But to tell this story, but I figured, let's play this.
Yeah, it sounds like it was really hard to sell those guitars, though.
It was fairly hard to sell those guitars, but I made the decision pretty much for real yesterday. I talked myself in and out of it for the last 4 days or so, and I did it. But the thing is, though, that frees up some money. I've got, instead of owing him money, he owes me money. If you know the guy, I'll give you 90 days to pay something off. So he doesn't really have anything I want. There's something I kind of like, but he will sooner or later. And
just preparing yourself for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might just give him money anyway, so that I can build up my. I have a positive balance. I'll make it even more positive.
There you go.
If something comes up,
Be right there at the store knocking.
Right. West Music had a really nice guitar today, too, that I was looking at. And $2,000, though. That's the problem. I used to have fun. I go to the pawn shop, or I get some sort of guitar that's made in China that's kind of a copy of a great old guitar from a different, and say, this sounds really pretty good for the money. Say, that's not. But then you play it for a while and say, yeah, it sounds pretty good for the money, but I've got something over there that sounds better.
A lot better.
Yeah, a lot better. And I want something that's even better than what I've got. So why would I play this when I could play that already? And so, and I shouldn't say this, but I just hope nobody's watching the show. But there's a country song about a fellow who gets a point in his life when he realizes that what he really likes is younger women and older whiskey. So that's not me, of course, but anyway.
Somebody out there.
Yeah. Some country guy.
Okay.
Maybe it's Tom T. Hall or somebody from the 70s. You couldn't sing that nowadays. Well, maybe you could. Nah, you probably couldn't sing that nowadays.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't think you could.
Yeah.
Even though some older whiskey does taste good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many years ago, I had somebody give me a tour of scotches, and it was most informative. But we already determined I'm a coffee achiever. Now, the Coffee Council or whatever had these commercials, probably in the 90s, I forget. But Nancy Wilson of Heart, and Heart was the two sisters. Well, Nancy was the one who played guitar.
Yes.
So she was like in this studio thing, and she was a coffee achiever. So they were trying to do, the Coffee Council or whatever, trying to get you to drink more coffee. And coffee achiever. I thought that was really funny because
Right.
I don't know.
Just like a salesperson trying to sell you some insurance or something like that. She's trying to sell you to drink more coffee.
Yeah, drink more coffee. Yeah.
So then you could play like how you was playing earlier.
Yeah.
There you go. I just love how you just ended that, just bam,
Yeah, yeah.
bam.
That's the thing about being a guitar player. I can do it all myself. I don't need anybody.
No,
See, I don't have to like get the rest of the band to agree with me. You know.
there you go.
If I have trouble getting the band together, then I've got serious issues.
Right.
Because I got the on the bass, I got the my thumb, and the rhythm section in the middle. And on top, I got my my ring finger. Coffee, man. I need some coffee.
He said he needs some coffee.
Yeah, well.
Somebody go get him some coffee. Like, quick, go get him some coffee.
There's a coffee house upstairs. They're probably closing up by now, though. I don't know. Yeah, coffee achiever. I'm starting to worry about it. But they say it keeps Alzheimer's away. Drinking coffee keeps them going senile.
Maybe I need to start drinking coffee then.
Yeah, you probably
might help me out.
You probably need some coffee.
I think so.
I don't think a Mountain Dew or anything like that's a good idea. I think you just do the coffee.
I remember when I was a kid, my grandmother used to try to feed me coffee when I was younger. I'm like, no. I had probably had, I think, maybe like 2 cups of coffee in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh?
Even if you put a lot of creamer in it, I still couldn't. It still wouldn't do anything for me.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. How about tea or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Well.
And actually, I've tried that about 2 or 3 times too as well. So.
Yeah. Oh, 2 minutes. Oh, he's gonna give me the peace sign or.
Peace.
Yeah. I don't know. I coffee. You see, when I was a kid, first time we lived in France, I was 9, and you know they do things different over there. You know, or they did anyway. I don't know what they're doing now. I've been there for a long time now. But they have a. So if you're a kid, you get café au lait, which in café, you know, is coffee, and au lait is you know, milk. So it's like it's half coffee, but it's a strong coffee, and half milk, which they heat up, and then you put a sugar cube in there. But the sugar cube is large and rectangular. It looks like a brick, you know. In fact, people would build models of castles out of the sugar cubes. Now our cubes are cubes, but theirs are like rectangular, look like a brick, you know.
Oh wow.
So you put one of these, you know, sugars, and you stir it up, and it actually tastes pretty good. And you dip your French bread in there, you know, or your croissant if you're rich, but most people just have French bread, you know. And France, that's where they make it, you know. So and that's what so you have coffee, and then at school lunch you have wine. But if you're not you're 9, then you see when you're a little kid, you put a little bit of wine and then this much water, and then you don't drink milk. And then when you're older, you know, the older you get, the more wine and less water. So when you're 9, it's like half wine, half water. You see, water it down. So I drink my school lunch and I have a glass, you know, and half wine, half water, and I have like some sort of like pickled fish, sort of sardine, but bigger than a sardine, you know, and some sort of cauliflower soup and some French bread. That'd be my school lunch. Is it done yet? Anyway, I'm sorry. So I started drinking coffee when I was.
That's what coffee does.